How's it going, guys? Mark with Red Star Loft here again on my lunch break here. It's time to feed the birds. See how they start running around when they hear that? They went for a flight this morning. They know what's coming. They're all about to drop down here. And people always talk about, not taming your birds. Well, I guess taming your birds, just getting them to be nice and friendly with you and not scared of you. As you can see, these guys are walking around, not running away from me. And the main key to all of that, as I've learned, is food. Food is really the number one thing that you have, so to say, over them. Yeah, they need to have, good living conditions. They need to be in a good environment and all of that. But food is really what makes or breaks your relationship with birds, from what I've learned. And up until maybe 2 months ago, I couldn't even really approach these birds without them scattering all over the place. Sorry if the camera's going all over the place. Trying to grab some food. But up until a couple of months ago, like I said, I couldn't really approach them too much. They were all scared of me. Whereas now, as you can see, they are much more willing to come near me, and that all comes down to feeding. Each bird here gets fed 2 tablespoons of feed per day. I had them on a schedule where they were being fed twice a day, and I'm still sticking to that schedule with my breeders. But my flyers, I've switched to once a day, so that I know, in the afternoon, when the birds are back from a flight, every day around this time, about between 1 and 2 o'clock, they get their feed. And let me get a little bit more. They get their feed, and they also get to be hungrier because, like I said, they eat once a day instead of twice a day. And obviously, when they're flying, you want them to be, not to fly on a full stomach, so to say. But yeah, with once a day feeding, these guys are really much more manageable, much more tolerable. I can kind of pet them, I can grab them if I want to, and they're just calmer overall. When they see me and they hear me whistling, even if they don't see me, if I just stand over there on the side of the house in that corner and I just start whistling without them even seeing me, they start to fly around, they get excited, they know food is coming. And that's really, I'm not sure if it's the only way, but it is the best way. Look who's back. What are you doing out so late? Oh, that's a young one. Come on. And that's how they use the trap. And I'm guessing you heard the food or saw the food from a tree. I'm not sure why it took you this long. This is actually the one that got hit by a hawk. You can see his feathers. But basically, yeah, I did have some people ask me. I know that a lot of you guys, a lot of the pigeon guys that I watch and that watch my channel do go over this, but very important to stick to a strict and consistent diet for the birds around the same time of day. And I'm really happy with how they've turned out. As you can see, they're walking all around my feet. When I put my hand down there to feed them, they come and eat right out of my hand. And they're just much more pleasant to be around, because if you look at my older videos, if you go back a couple months, when I would get in here, they would kind of scatter all over the place as I'm walking through the loft. Granted, they were still mostly young birds, and you know, I didn't hand raise a single one of these birds. They were all raised by their parents and weaned, so it's just better to handle. They're easier to catch when I'm basketing them, and especially when they're flying. When you call them in, you just shake that food can and whistle, and they come right to you. So I just wanted to let you guys know, and especially have you compare, if you go to the older videos, how they behave then and how they behave now. I'm gonna dump out their food so that they can eat. And yeah, now when they eat, there's no mess. All the food gets eaten real quick, and nothing is left behind. Let's see how many fly in here. Just one side, and as you can see, the young ones are still a little shy. My third round, they're still a tiny bit shy, but when it's feeding time, nobody's just standing around doing nothing. They all attack the feeder, and they all clean up the food. But like I said, they're not underfed. They have very specific measures, 2 tablespoons per bird. If I lose a couple birds, if I lose a bird or two, like I did on my last loft flight, I will simply, if I lost 2 birds, once I fill up my cup, I will scoop out 4 tablespoons. So there they are. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick little video, kind of show you the progress that I made when it comes to feeding them and kind of taming them a little bit. And not too difficult, you just have to be persistent and consistent. So that's it, guys. Time to get back to work. Hope you have a good rest of your week. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.